I have something to say about myself deceased. This is the threatening that I don't know you. Crunch bar. It's a crunch having to do with that oneself is angry with a body that's not oneself, and it is not acknowledging itself as affirmatively itself. Crunch. Like crunch that body all the way down into flat. Yeah. Well, I have something to say about myself deceased, but in the threatening, I am missing that this goes in the mouth. That means I'll hold it until I'm done, and then it's melted and I need to throw it in the garbage. But I don't throw food in the garbage now because I don't have enough food for myself for the rest of my life. And I don't know how long I'm going to live from the soul's point of view. But from my point of view as the overlord, I do know when I'm myself deceased out of the door locking, and I'm sure that I will be elsewheres in very good chokhmah after this, meaning that I will be very well ordered after this. I will have everything I need and more. Abby Schoenfeld Davis. Abby has something wrong with her mentally ill, that she wouldn't come back to Wisconsin when I called her and let me into my own house. And if she can't get in, she owes me that she goes to jail and prison on that point, that she illegally entered my house when she was younger, and she can't get in there at any time as though it is her own house. That means she didn't pay for that it's not her house, and that she didn't pay for that it was affirmatively my house and alive. The house is now demolished as far as I can see on Zillow. Zillow.com, or if you look up an address, it comes up on Zillow, as well as other naming on the internet. My house used to be 3 levels. Now it looks like I'm not real sure if it's 2 levels or if it's 3 levels as well. But the kitchen, I can see the picture of the kitchen on the inside. It has an illegal stove that's like a range that's maybe like for a restaurant. I don't know, or maybe it's not big enough for a restaurant, but it's too big for a house. It's a gas stove, I think is illegal. That's an explosion in the house. I wouldn't recommend buying that house and living there. I don't own it anymore that way. I would like to sue 1-800-GOT-JUNK for the construction of a new house just for myself, because the outside of my house looks a different appearance than I remember it, witnesses myself to myself. And I want to sue 1-800-GOT-JUNK and all of the junk removal companies that come if you call them. That means they didn't find it themselves and clean it up. They come for a call and they don't know you and they don't know what they're cleaning up. And they don't actually have that everybody would be in agreement who knows about the, according to them, junk, right? So I think my house could have been demolished by threatening a wrecking ball and that it was in pieces all over the yard. 1-800-GOT-JUNK came and hauled it off with about 100 trucks and 100 hauls. And then they built and constructed a new house on the same address and made a corruption of testimony that I was never there as the owner of the house. And it's true that I know if it's my house or not to myself. And you don't believe a word I say out of my mouth, even though it's in English, American English. You take that for granted. It's very, very hard. There are very many foreign countries in the world that you can get to by the airports, and you don't believe a word I say. I understand that. But that's not excuse, because I am myself the father. That means I'm the founder of the order. I know what an airport is. I know when I need an airport, and I know when an airport is being abused. And I think 1-800-GOT-JUNK is too dangerous to be moving around on the 1-800 phone number. It's due that they reimburse me for the house. And I also think they are allowed to sue other junk removal companies because their trucks, who is driving the truck, it's not really clear to the 1-800-GOT-JUNK if they own their driver. Not really, right? The driver is some kind of a contract that they can also sue the driver and sue. That's true that they have very many lawsuits, but you have to have the lawsuit, not that you think that something is a claim that it belongs to you, but you have to have a lawsuit. That means that you're trying to get into a jail and a prison for a death on yourself. And that's why you have very thick, messy lawsuits. Lawyers, law firms, law schools, judges on TV, and they don't have the property boundaries with myself in the center so that you get everybody else goes into the jails and prisons and gets a death. And that's the lawsuit being from myself, going into the bank and freezing in the bank, and everybody else gets what they want, that they're no longer escalating the threatening. They're not a debt increasing and going up and up in the bank, and including the credit lines. And the keys are no longer hostage people that are not all in agreement. They are not all coordinated inside of the keys that have for entry into houses that have multiple rooms in the dwelling. So that's really, you're meant to be on the outside because of the penis being in alive. That means everybody's on the outside of the house so that you don't argue the multiple rooms inside of the illegal dwelling. It's illegal to the penis. The penis is illegal to be in there. I can be anywhere because I am myself the founder of the order, but you are not allowed to just go anywhere you want with your keys because you have exclusions, that you have keys that don't fit everything. So you're wrong to yourself that way. And then you also have exclusion having to do with multiple strangers in there. They're all dangerous. If they have a penis, they're due outside homeless, and it's not supposed to be a female's problem that they're inside and they have to tell a penis it has to be outside. If you're the female and you see a penis, you go outside because you don't want to be near the penis. The penis, it goes outside, is due. And you don't understand your karma with the shoes. They're really not shoes anymore. They're called footwear. If you don't have a dong, you don't have shoes, you have footwear, and they're stolen footwear. They're due in a jail or a prison. If you alive yourself and you see you have footwear on, go straight to a jail and a prison because they're irreplaceable. You can't go to a shoe store and buy shoes. That's totally illegal. I wanted just to say this. 1-800-GOT-JUNK, you owe me a fortune in leverage. I am none higher than me, deceased.